The one and only multiverse presents a grand unified theory. The Expanse. A perpetual universe. Space exists in two parts, the one we know, and the one we don't know. Dark matter space, primal space. Falling into a stellar or galactic black hole can't happen in a theory of everything. Dark matter particles and polarized space is the real deal. Web page and video are not AI generated. Your host Richard E. Noer. TM There cannot be a vast expanse of nothing. This is because an expanse has height, width, and depth. It is a physical existence. Nothing is nothing, not anything, nothing at all, and definitely not a vast expanse. The vast expanse of space is matter, plus its spatial, magnetic force. Light, heat, gravity, and magnetic waves cannot travel through a spatial emptiness. Spatial emptiness is an oxymoron. The belief that space is basically a void, or empty. The concept of empty space is just what the word implies: emptiness, no matter, no energy, no height, width, or depth, nothing. Be careful using the term void. This is because it suggests it is not a complete spatial nothing. A void of all things would be a true void, and doesn't exist, but a void of any one thing is still a spatial existence. A thought experiment: what if all of existence is matter plus a magnetic spatial force, and non-existence is still nothing? Now, can you create matter? TM says no. Can you create nothing? TM says no. This means they both must have already existed, or they don't exist at all. Which is it? Aha! Now we have to think out of the box. The answer is simple. Yes, we have always had a universe, but no, you still can't create nothing. This is because nothing is nothing. Non-existence, no height, width, depth. So all you have to do is explain how the universe is the way it is, and why it is expanding. I know this is a huge scary task and many have tried and failed, but it can be done. I love untangling knots of misinformation. TM thinks it has the answers. Basic particle spheres of the cosmos, and material polarized space, UDMPS. The dark matter C. Present state of the expanse, TMS multiverse, A. Dark matter particles of space that do not belong to large bodies such as planets, stars, galaxies or black stars, have missed their evolutionary period to form protons in this part of the cosmos. This is because they have evolved and expanded beyond the energy level to create this atomic particle. They are now spinning individuals that have a magnetic force but less than the proton. So this part of space now consists of dark matter, protons, and the bodies that the proton created. B. As the dark matter C continues to expand and cool, each dark matter particle will lose their magnetic force. At some point the torus lock of these particles will fail. When this happens, the magnetic space that the spinning dark matter particles created will also stop, along with the sand grain formations. This in turn expands the particle's spatial zones, and this part of the cosmos reaches its final density mass index. DMI, C. This has created an undeniable change in the expanse. The failing dark matter particles has transformed polarized space into non-polarized space. The matter that was once structured and spinning has become primal matter. I say non-polarized space because primal matter still has energy. The granules vibrate and move around, while bumping into each other, thus creating space. Remember that matter cannot be created or destroyed, but there is a new state of an expanse that can exist without a polarized magnetic force. This is because of the loss of dark matter particle structure. D. So we now have an expanse of tiny particle grains and a weak primal energy force, with no polarized space. Oh my, this is unbelievable. TM says no, it's not. Why? Because it fits precisely with all we know. There are no known gaps or conflicts. E. And now for the conclusion of these events. I bet you already know what happens next. Primal space meets a super black star, then watch out. This part of the cosmos is about to get transformed. Conclusion: the discovery of the true nature of the expanse is the missing link that unites everything. The big problem is correctly identifying and interpreting what existence really means. As it turns out, there are two major parts of the expanse. 1. Is a medium of matter plus its weak spatial force, and 2. Is matter that has been condensed and spun, thus creating pole magnetism. Because we are dealing with such vast distances, and super tiny bits of matter, the true expanse of the multiverse is beyond comprehension. Using current tools of understanding, mathematics, and the human brain, we still have nothing to compare it to. On the other hand, if you put all the thousands of puzzle pieces together, in the right evolved sequence, with all known relativity, and no conflicts, a picture emerges. If a picture is worth a zillion words, now, and only now, you just may have a deeper understanding of how big a multiverse existence can be. Tiny magnetic spheres all have dark energy forces. Dark matter particles, XCP dark energy, Encyclopedia 14.1. Nothing, not anything, nothing at all, no height, width or depth. Can you create nothing? No. Is the universe basically a vast expanse of nothing? No. Can you create holes of nothing in space? No. Is there nothing at the end of the universe? Yes. TM Encyclopedia 66. A question, is the universe infinite? Answer, yes. This is because you can't create matter from nothing, and you can't create nothing from matter. All of existence is matter plus its spatial movement, nothing else and no expanse of nothing. TM. Interplanetary, interstellar, intergalactic, magnetic spatial flow. Saturn's rings. Magnetic flow, currents. Neutron star. Magnetic currents. Quasar. Magnetic spatial flow. Black star Taurus bonding. Galaxy M87, with polar jet. There are internal quantum torus string, fields of the proton, electron, neutron, neutrino structure, and on a much larger scale, there are quantum, torus, ring, currents, and fields of bodies in galactic space. Yes, there are quantum fields everywhere. A detailed description of torus structured, pen particles, is in the particle evolution segment. That being said, things are about to go from tiny, to the very large. Yes, galactic space has quantum fields and currents. Let's start with the hydrogen atom. Because it is surrounded by dark matter particles and is not in a void, the atom will influence or be influenced by surrounding space. Because of the spinning magnetic pull and push energy of the atom, it produces particle flowing currents in the medium of space. The spinning atom creates equatorial ring fields, and polar jet torus fields with a magnetic flowing current through its axis. Faster spin compacts the atom. More pulling ring energy, and more pulling pushing torus flowing current. This force is coupled with the dark matter spatial medium. So it is space that will determine how fast the atom will compress and spin, or it is the slowing atom that will determine how much space loses density, heat and energy. See, now, couple atoms together and form molecules and bodies. When you do this, the whole amount of energy handshake has doubled and doubled again, and so has the amount of involved space. There are more and more quantum fields, currents, bodies, and magnetism. This is because all atomic coupling and structures draw particles from the dark matter particle C. This part of space has now expanded from atoms to elements to planets, moons and stars. Let's continue on. TM says, because space is not a void and is a medium of universal particles, the distribution of structures, moons, planets, stars and galaxies are all connected by dark matter and currents, and the gravity they create. At the galactic scale there are extremes of bodies and energies, but there is a limit. Enter the black star. It has level 4 gravity, so it has an enormous pull and pushing dark matter particle flow. This is what keeps a galaxy's formation intact. Because of the galaxy's size, it has an enormous gravitational reach in galactic space. Now, on this scale, even galaxies are in a polar ring and torus magnetic spatial current. That's why they merge, and dance about in the vast expanse. One last thing. Because of level 4 gravity, black stars will eventually attract each other, and also parts of the galaxy that the other black stars control. When this happens, black stars will still be able to consume more and more matter and spatial force, but the end game is near. After the black stars rampage, and combined strength, they meet their demise. Primal space. While black stars were busy merging, other parts of space was losing gravity currents and dark matter particle bonding, was slowing to a point of no spin energy. Here's the tricky part. Space shrinks because of black star gravity, and space expands because there is no black star gravity. I know this sounds crazy, but just think about this for a moment. It is energy, movement, that can change, but the sum of matter can't. So, there is high energy space with lots of concentrated matter, and there is low energy space with its dispersed matter. TM says, given enough time, it's inevitable that the two magnetic spatial properties will meet, and you guessed it, the stage has been set. Evolution of a multiverse will continue on, but relativity of some of its parts is about to change forever. Conclusion: if a black star gets isolated and is surrounded by primal space, whoosh, rip, squeeze, spin, bang. A supernova type 0 has just occurred. This can happen in every part of the multiverse, but not all at once. Why? Because the multiverse is so vast, and in different stages of evolution, and has unlimited time zones. This is why super black stars can't all merge or meet each other at the same time, and they all may not be completely surrounded by primal space. To reiterate an important fact, there are many time zones in a multiverse. This means there is no such thing as a singularity of super energy that created and evolved a single universe, with a single time zone evolution. The vast expanse of the cosmos is perpetual, ever-changing and evolving. There is no end to a universe, multiverse, cosmos, or time. A final question for Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking and John Wheeler. Can black holes exist in a vast expanse of nothing? TM says, absolutely not. This is because black stars, in addition to a pulling force, have an equal pushing force. An inward and outward material flow. Theoretical black holes do not, and have no viable scientific reason to have a material flow, in and out of the same hole. Also, a gravity hole in space-time is pure non-science. To give Einstein credit, he didn't believe that black holes exist. Way to go, Albert. Your host, Richard E. Noer. Young me. Mini me. Email, noerastronomy@gmail.com. Here in a multiverse, our goal is to find the cosmic truth. No matter where, or how far it takes you, the universe truly does unify. If you get the basics right,